when it comes to relatively high-end mountain bike brakes, this is arguably the worst disc rotor out there. This is the SRAM Centerline, and I think it's absolutely terrible. Let me explain why. This is a 200 horsepower Aprilia RSV4, and look at the rotor. What big key difference do you see? It has this aluminum carrier. And why is that significant? All disc brakes, all brakes really, what they're doing is they're converting forward momentum, the energy from inertia, into heat. And there's a limit to how much heat they can dissipate. They can only get so hot. So with mountain bikes, they certainly don't go as fast as a 200 horsepower motorcycle, but they do carry a lot of forward momentum. You'll also notice these little buttons, right? Well, what do these buttons do? These buttons allow the steel part to float independently of the aluminum part. Especially as things get hot, everything expands. It allows a little bit of movement by design. And the purpose of this is to allow the rotor to perfectly align with the brake pads. This is all a big deal and all very important. This all works together to help make braking more efficient. Back to our terrible centerline rotor. These things, they're not really capable of dissipating much heat. It's the whole piece, it's just a stamped piece of steel. Once they glaze, which it doesn't take much time to do, they just start making lots of noise. They warble, they squeak. They are terrible. So what makes the best disc brake out there the best disc brake? This is a Hope rotor. Now, no affiliation, but these are hands down one of the best discs you could put on your mountain bike. Well, why is that? So, what similarities do we see between this little mountain bike rotor and the rotor on the 200 horsepower motorcycle? Well, we have the aluminum carrier, which acts as a heat sink. It helps pull the heat out and away from the stainless steel. It also has the little buttons that allow the rotor to perfectly align with the brake pads. This one costs about $65, and it takes about 30 seconds to install. We remove the old rotor, 6 nuts, Torx heads, and we make sure that this surface, the brake surface, is perfectly clean. We don't want any dirt there because we don't want anything sitting behind the carrier. We put the rotor in place and we use a star pattern to tighten the bolts. We don't just tighten one bolt and then the other. We want the rotor to seat against the hub in alignment. We don't want it to warp or twist. So using a crisscross pattern, we first go through and we seat all the nuts lightly. Once all 6 bolts are snug, we torque them down using the same crisscross pattern to 5 Newton meters, which is not super tight. And that is how you dramatically improve your braking performance and braking feel in just a few minutes with, in my humble opinion, what is arguably the best brake rotor you can install on your mountain bike. Once installed, verify that there's no drag between the new rotor and the pads. If there is a little bit of drag, what you can do is loosen these 2 nuts, squeeze the brake lever, and while holding the brake lever, you snug these back down, and that will align the caliper perfectly with the rotor. But in this case, no adjustment was needed. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. Go get yourself some Hope rotors and improve your braking. We'll see you next time.